Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is me, your English instructor, Muhammad Hasnain, once again with all of you people. Today I welcome you in our today's episode of the series Is Reality Real? And today we are going to be talking about phobias, its type, and many other things related to phobias. So let's get into the topic and let's learn more about phobias. Now, well, as I explained that what are phobias in my last video, today I'm going to explain that how many types of phobias are there and what are the different types and what phobia you might have. Now, there are mainly three different types of phobias you can have. Specific phobia, that can be specifically to something, some order, or any service, or any kind of animal, anything. Even clowns, thunder, as I explained trypophobia in my last video, you might even have trypophobia. I'll explain it again. Second type of it is agoraphobia, or the fear of crowded places or the fear of busy places where you cannot escape. Like some people are scared to go out of home to like bazaar or theater or to the mart because they think that they'll have a lower chance of escaping the place, and they feel really comfortable in places where they are alone and feel really uncomfortable when there are a lot of people around them. So they try to avoid places that have like the risk of like a lot of people and the risk of not being able to escape. They just avoid those type of places. It is a type of phobia, main type, but the thing is that it itself doesn't has any lower branches. It is the branch. It doesn't has any lower branch. Now we come to the social phobia, which is also not having a lower branch. It itself is a branch. So now let me explain what is social phobia. Fear of social interactions. Now, what do I mean by that? There are lots of introverted characters you might have met, and they aren't introverts, but they just have like a problem with talking to people. They do not feel great. They just like alone. They don't like that much social. They aren't sociable. They aren't that much solute, and they aren't that much of they don't dissolve well with the society, and they have problems. So they try their level best to be as non-social as they can and to keep their relations as low as possible and have kind of like no relationships, no friendships, no friends, etc. Nothing. They try their best to not meet new people and do what they are doing and enjoy that. And they're just scared that new people, will they accept him, will they do like this, will they that. It's like a phobia which is related to you, that you think that will people accept me or not. So let's as we talked about social phobia, let's get into specific phobia. Now there are many types of phobias, like phobia of darkness. You can find it. There are weird long names for all of these. I'm not gonna say that because like probably one of you people will be in the comments saying that who invented these names for them. So I'm not gonna confuse you with names thalassophobia or phobicophobia or trypophobia. I'm not gonna bore you with these type of names. Well, as I said, there are many phobias, like phobia of clowns, phobia of thunder, phobia of heights, phobia of flight. There is phobia of darkness. There is phobia of closed spaces or literally no space. You can have like those videos on the internet where there are people who are like miners and like scientists, and they are like going through different mountains like in so tight spaces, and like will make you feel bad for them, and you'll be like, oh, they're so much tight. Like my grandmother is suffering from like phobia of darkness and phobia of like tight spaces. So whenever like it gets dark, so she just like panics and says that oh my god, and she just like tries to find us. And after like when it gets over, so she's like fine. And whenever I'm like changing my clothes and like she sees that I'm having like a really like thin collar, or I'm having like a really close collar which like will make it difficult for me to breathe, so she just says that go away, I just don't want to see it. I'm losing my breath just looking at it. She just gets like, she starts to suffocate by looking at other people in tight spaces. And I was just imagining if I showed her like videos of those people in like middle of two mountains, literally going like this, having literally zero space to move out. I'm just like literally thinking sometimes that how do they get out of those mountains. So like it can sometimes get scary and unsettling, but it's not always a phobia. Like, you don't get really scared, so it's not a phobia. Like, phobia of clowns is real. Even there is a phobia of eternity or infinity. If lots of you people want like a fancy phobia, so I have it for you, the phobia of eternity and infinity. So it's like an English fancy word. I just like see this, that whenever I speak something that is like extra hard to understand in my, for example, village, etc., like these type of people, they just like think that I'm really good at English and think that it's a fancy word, and just like say in their mind, oof, kafir English. So it's like a thing that usually people say. So if you want a fancy one, I have it for you, the fear of infinity or the fear of eternity. You can search about it. There are many images, like for example, there is the image of the endless tunnel, the image of the endless row of homes, the image of the endless rooms, the image of the endless walls there, and the endless doors. Of course, I've like seen many different images that are related to it, and it can, like, even the back rooms is actually a hint towards this phobia, because backrooms is also infinite and eternal, and when you find out that it's infinite, you're gonna panic really hard. It's gonna panic a lot. So that was all about phobias. There are like many types. I'm not gonna go in deeper. If you want to see, so there are like hundreds of types. You can go on the internet, watch like compilations of people saying the names of those phobias and what they are about. I'm not gonna explain that, but I'm gonna explain what are phobias, their types. And I'm also gonna say that I chose this topic because it was becoming like a problem here, that people do not know how to deal and tackle with such kind of problems, and they just like cope with it and show to other people that they're really tough, but internally they're like having those panics, and they're like internally in their mind they're having panic, and this can cause you mental illnesses and mental, it will depart you mentally. It will like tear you. On one hand you're like totally calm, and one part of your mind is calm and the other one is screaming at the same time, so it will like depart. So there are gonna be problems if you do not care of yourself. So as I spoke about what is phobia, its types, next I'm gonna talk about its solution. So thank you so much for being with me. This is all, and Allah Hafiz.